so we're on our way to go pick up our next project. Luckily, it's somewhat close by. It's about 35 minutes away from us. So it's, I don't know what year it is. It's a Kawasaki KDX 200. The guy had it listed for 800 bucks. Looks like it's spent at least the last few years outside. But it looks pretty complete, which that's what kind of drew me to it. I'm going in assuming that this thing's going to need everything, top to bottom, but looks like all the plastics are there. Looks like the whole motor's there. He didn't have a ton of pictures, but looked like it was pretty complete. So anyway, I made him an offer, and he accepted it. I'm usually not a lowball kind of guy, but I offered 450 bucks. Again, assuming that the bottom end shot, the top end shot, you know, pretty much everything else. So I wasn't willing to pay $800 for something that might need $1,200 worth of work, and when you get done, you got a $1,200 bike. So I think it was a good buy at 450. It's definitely worth that. New parts, the motor's probably 500 alone. So anyway, I got high hopes for it, but you know, I'm going in it thinking this thing, you know, may need everything. So anyway, we're on our way. Beautiful sunny day, so we'll be there in about a half an hour and get this thing loaded up, and hopefully get it inside the garage where we're out of the rain, and we'll do a walk through it later and see what we ended up with. So we'll see you in a little bit. All right, so we got it off the truck and out into the garage, out of the rain for now. Actually, it looks like it finally stopped. But so that's the bike. It's a 1984. We picked it up. It was about 35-40 minutes from us. Nice young guy met us there. And I always like to get a little bit of the story on the bike. And he picked it up, I don't know how recently, but I don't think he's had it very long. He actually did some yard work for an older gentleman. I guess he actually said he was like 89 years old. So we did some kind of yard work for him, mowing the lawn or cleaning up or whatever. And his payment was this dirt bike and also a Suzuki street bike, a 1974 Suzuki. I'll talk about that in a second. That was a really cool bike. But anyhow, that was his payment. And for whatever reason, he decided, you know, not to keep it, and obviously sold it to us. He was asking 800. He was very honest in his ad. You know, he said it needs everything, and you know, it definitely needs everything. But you know, we got him down to 450, and you know, we didn't really have to haggle much. I think he was happy with that, and I think that's the right price. I don't think I can get hurt at 450. You know, even if I had to part this thing out, that's not my goal. You know, I buy these old machines because I like to fix them up and get them running again. Few of my quads kicking around there. Honda CL70 underneath the tarp over there. So the purpose was to get this and hopefully get it running again. Not sure if it's worth throwing a bunch of money at, and we're going to walk around and I'll show you the, you know, 8 or 10 things I found wrong with it already that definitely need to be addressed. So I still got to weigh that out. But I think at the very least, even if I have to throw a few bucks at it, I would love to at least get it running one last time and, you know, maybe take it for a rip, you know, up and down a trail somewhere in the back of my property here, and give it one last shot at life before it ends up being parted out or what. But who knows? Maybe I can get into it. You know, maybe I'll just get it running. Maybe I can pass it on to somebody that's willing to put a little bit more time and effort into it. And I'd rather see these bikes be saved than parted out. So that's the goal. With all that being said, you know, we'll do a walk around here. You know, your tires aren't bad as far as the tread that's left on them, but like any of these old bikes, they're dry rotted, so they're not really safe to use. Rims look like they're in decent shape. I don't really see any broken spokes or anything. You know, a little bit of rust on them, nothing too major. Motor looks pretty much complete as far as I can tell. The clutch case, unfortunately, is cracked. I don't see any cracked fins on the top of the motor, so that's a good thing. But this thing was definitely on a farm, and it definitely, I'm sure, was passed down a few generations. I thought this was kind of cool. This is the rear brake. And I want to say that's, I don't know if it was an old piece of barbed wire or what it was, but they did what they had to do to get some brakes working on it. When you're young and you're desperate to ride, you'll do just about anything. And that's some crazy stuff there. The chamber looks to be in good shape, and if I had to guess, that's the original exhaust chamber. It doesn't look aftermarket, and to my surprise, I don't really see really a dent in it. I think there's a slight little, tiny little spot right there, but got some typical surface rust, but it's not rotted at all. Oh, and I also forgot to mention, the guy that sold it to us said this sat outside for 15 years. So, you know, again, I was looking at the pictures. I could tell it sat outside for a long time by the plastics and everything. But he said the older guy that sold it to him said it was literally sat outside for 15 years. And my guess is it might have sat inside somewhere for a little while, even before it got pushed outside for one reason or another. I believe that to be Aftermarket Muffler. I don't know if I can read that. Actually, it looks like an answer equalizer. I don't know if that says system or what that says. So that's aftermarket. The seat, I believe the seat pan in the foam to actually be original. It does say KX and not KDX, and it's a high flight, which is an aftermarket brand. But I'm thinking the KXs and the KDXs, I think the seats might have been interchangeable. So this might have been all they were able to get at the time. So it was obviously recovered at one time, and that was certainly a long time ago. Tank looks like to be in good shape. I mean, it's plastic, not much that can go wrong with it, but good tank. Let's see, you know, no grip on this side. Brake levers broke. Plastics are definitely rough. Surprisingly enough, they're all there. Front fender is actually not bad. That might be the original front fender. Not sure about the sides and the typical rust that you would expect from sitting outside all that time. This side looks pretty good also. I don't see any broken fins, which is kind of cool. I believe to be the original carburetor. Definitely needs a good cleaning. Headlight's still in there. It's got a crack there. It possibly could be glued. Not sure if that would plastic weld or not. If anything, I would try some kind of epoxy glue on that. But yeah, so that's it in a nutshell. Definitely, you know, like I said, the young guy that sold it to us, you know, again, he was honest in his ad. He said it needs everything. So, you know, it was a nice, easy deal. You know, I made him an offer, and he thought it was reasonable. I thought it was reasonable. So, yeah, so that's it. You know, again, I'm thinking I definitely want to do a few videos on this. It'd be fun just to get this thing up and running. I'll definitely take a much better look through it. And, you know, before we could even think about that, I'd have to pick up a clutch case. Not sure what, you know, one of those will run. You know, if it's $150 or something, I'm not even sure that I want to go that deep into it. Once you spend your first $150, it's all downhill after that. But if I could find one for $50 or something, probably be worth it. Get a rebuild kit for the carburetor, rebuild that, clean out the tank. Needs just about every cable on here. Clutch cable. The brakes, looks like they just lopped everything off. This front tire is hung up. It doesn't move at all, so that was fun getting it on and off the truck. So the brakes are definitely locked up in there. Rear tire moves, no problem. Motor's locked up. I wouldn't expect anything different from sitting out in the rain all those years. So that would be obviously the first thing that I have to do is to see if I can get that motor to free up. I've done that enough times with some of these old machines and had pretty good luck getting them to break free. I mean, it's certainly not going to run like a champ or anything, but again, I'd like to give this thing one more ride, and maybe if I get it running, somebody might want to take it over and go a little bit further on it. So, and I may change my mind, who knows. But anyway, that's it. Look out for some more videos on the KDX coming up. Probably going to be a little bit. We're finishing up the 72 Honda CL70. That's getting pretty close to being done. So probably have a couple more videos on that. I'm going to do a cold start, 40-year cold start on that, hopefully. I was almost done with it and ended up having spark issues, and anyway, the part's on order. But if you like this kind of content and you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We work on a lot of this old stuff, so if you like that kind of stuff, check out some of our other videos, and hopefully you'll hang around for a bit. Before I go, I wanted to talk real quick about the Suzuki motorcycle that he had there. I mentioned it at the beginning of the video. It was just a cool bike, so I just want to tell the story on that a little bit. The guy was nice enough to let me take a picture of it, so I'll throw that in the video here so you can see what it looked like. But it was a 1974 Suzuki 500 street bike, and I thought the neat thing about it was the guy that they got it from, the 89-year-old guy, he was the original owner. He bought it back in 1974 and had it ever since. And he passed it on to these guys. And I guess the father of the young guy that we're talking to today wants to go through it from top to bottom and get it back up and running again. And they said once they do that, they're going to bring it down, to the original owner's house, just so he can see it run and see it cleaned up. So I thought that was kind of neat. Hopefully they'll be able to tackle that and get that done. That would be really cool. I did ask him if he wanted to sell it. I would love to own it. It just was a super cool looking bike. But if they're going to fix it up and let that guy see it run again, I think that's awesome. But I might reach out to him at some point. They may change their mind or not have the time for it or whatever. So I'll hang on to his information. But anyhow, I'm going to throw in a picture of that real quick. And I just thought it was kind of cool. I believe it was a 2-stroke, and it had the oil injection. So anyway, that's that. Super cool bike. Check it out, and hopefully we'll see you back for the next video.